Coming up, we've got lots to talk about. There's Captain America, there's Civil War 2, there's our MegaCon coverage, so much more. Some fun news and rumors on this episode of Diz Pop. Diz Pop is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. Visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host, Ryno Clavin, and this week I am joined by nobody. It's just me. It's been a little hectic in the Diz Unplugged headquarters with the Disneyland 60th anniversary stuff being released this week. Everybody's got a ton of videos to do, and I thought it was just a little easier to kind of shoot this episode on the fly. But that's the beauty of the show. It's just kind of fluid. It's me moving around. Sometimes we have Craig, sometimes it's Oliver, sometimes it'll be friends and whoever. So that's how it is. But yeah, I guess that's it. But first things first, I actually do have a little bit of housekeeping this week. I know I never have housekeeping on this type of show. So I guess on the Diz boards, there was a post. Somebody may or may not have been offended. I used the word vagina in one of the recent episodes. And I just want to go out here and say that I didn't use it in a sexually explicit way. I didn't use it in an offensive way. I used it to describe the over-sexualization of female superheroes in comic books. And I actually think that's an issue because men are never portrayed the same way. And it just seems like it's kind of a weird message to send. And I'm really sorry, but if this is a show where you're going to get offended if I use the word for an anatomy, the correct word for an anatomy, a piece of anatomy, excuse me, then this might not be the show for you. I'm not saying that in a mean way, but I feel like calling it a hoo-ha defeats the purpose of what we're saying. I know I might have said it in a funny term, but I was literally describing that area of the body in I wasn't trying to be offensive, so I will say sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. However, I'm not going to not use that word if that comes up. You know what I mean? I don't swear on this show. I'm not smoking. I'm not beating anybody up, not knifing anybody. So, yeah, sometimes we're going to have those type of discussions. So, I'm sorry. We're not the Tuesday show. We're not the Universal show. This is a different show, and it's got a different vibe on it, and you know, I make drinks on this show, so this show's probably a little PG-13, but I will keep the swearing to a minimum. I do promise that. I will not curse like a sailor, but that's that. So again, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. But on a lighter note, some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, or maybe this has happened to you in the world, Ecto Cooler has been reintroduced into the market. However, it's been introduced into these grocery stores that are like only in the north, and so it was like nowhere around, and it was on Amazon Prime, but only in certain areas if it was in the distribution area, and so it was unavailable for a little while, and it's still having a little bit of a shortage. However, I did manage to sneak in an order when it came out, just the right time, so I bought 4 cases of it. So I have 48 cans of this, and I'm not even showing them. I'm not sharing, so I'm sorry. But I am going to do I think an arts and crafts and drinks video for you guys when you get it out there. It's going to spread. It's going to be in more distribution centers. You'll be able to get it on walmart.com soon as well. I did bring so I have a cold can, which is here, and a regular can, which is here, and you can see they're actually color changing. So I didn't know what it was at first, but all the yellow's gone and it's all green now. So it says Ghostbusters in yellow, Hi-C in yellow here, and on the cold can, it's all slimed now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to open this. It's also available in juice boxes, but you can't order the juice boxes on Amazon, I don't think, and they're like impossible. I've seen somebody on the interweb somewhere get one, but it's too slimy. I can't open it. This stuff, I've had one can. Now it's like one of those precious things. It tastes just like the original. So the best part, though, is this one's actually green, because I think the original was clear. But you never knew because you're drinking it out of the juice box. Well, I guess the straw, but either way, oh god, yeah, that is some good stuff. So if you were worried about it, if you were kind of half-heartedly going at it, trying to find it, no, it's worth it. Get it. Don't mind me. I'll just be rude and enjoy mine in front of all you guys. But yeah, it definitely tastes ripe for the boozing. So I'm thinking. So it's called Ecto Cooler. I'm thinking we could make a drink and maybe call it the Slimer. So it's got like the Ecto in there. But we'll see. That'll be coming soon. I'll try and do that maybe in correlation with the new Ghostbusters movie, because I don't care what anybody says. I want to see the movie. Ghostbusters was like my Power Rangers before Power Rangers. Like, I love Ghostbusters. I'm just happy the franchise exists in the world again. And I really hope that people's sexist attitudes and defeatist whatever are going to at least give it the chance it deserves. I mean, Paul Feig has not given us... I've liked every one of his movies, and... the first trailer for this movie was poorly assembled. However, I think that second international trailer is really, really funny. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. And I'm hoping we get more than one. And I'm hoping like he doesn't give up. Paul Feig doesn't give up because of all the crap that people give it. But that'll work us right on into our little box office update. Now, I know it's been a little bit of a while, but Alice Through the Looking Glass has come out. And if you haven't caught myself and Craig Williams doing a review of it, you can check that out on iTunes. That was an audio-only episode. And in short, though, no, I'm not even going to tell you. You go check out the review of it. But it didn't do too well. It did take the second place in the Memorial Day weekend, but it only made about $33.5 million versus the $60 million that was projected. So it's not really that good. And then the drop in the second week, so this last weekend that just passed, the first weekend of June, it brought in just $11 million more. So it probably looks like this is not going to fare very well. They're comparing it flop-wise to John Carter of Mars and Lone Ranger and all that. But, people who are going to see it, You're going to see it either way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Sometimes I don't think things like that sway it one way or another. Like, maybe if it's a strong movie and that word of mouth can get around, it'll go. But this is such a niche type of audience that I don't know. But anyway, but Disney's doing just fine as the box office. It's passing $4 billion. Already, dang. That's it. Three of its films currently rank as the highest grossing of 2016 globally. So that's a pretty big deal. X-Men Apocalypse, which I know is not Disney oriented, but it is under the Marvel banner. So they're getting money some way. That debuted at number 1, falling to number 2 this last weekend, making way for that garbage bag of a movie, Ninja Turtles, which I also saw, and it was just as bad as the first one. I honestly had a little bit of hope that maybe, since they were taking like the straight up cartoon route, it might be a little bit better. No. So yeah. But to talk about X-Men really quick, I know there's a lot of like, it doesn't have the highest rating with critics, but I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it's not the best X-Men movie in the franchise. I'd still say that belongs to either Days of Future Past or even First Class or even X-Men 1. I know everybody loves X-Men 2, but I think X-Men 1 has a very strong circular story. Like, it all comes together in the end and everything, whereas X2 kind of it like set up stuff that never really paid off because the third movie was so bad. So it kind of like didn't, like, the action was amazing in the second movie, but it just kind of never, I don't know. But this, I thought Apocalypse was good. It finally felt like it was finally beginning the opportunity to be like the X-Men that was like the 90s cartoon show. So it finally felt like it was like, okay, well, we're going to be fully formed X-Men in this one now. Or like it was bridging in that area. It does have its moments where it's kind of like, there's a couple of moments, and some of the CGI is phenomenal, and then some of it is just like, it looks like test footage. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I think if you've enjoyed the other two First Class movies, the trilogy reboot, I think you'll like this one too. It's probably the third worst of those three, but it's definitely above X-Men Origins and Wolverine, the first Wolverine. at least, and maybe on par with the second. I don't mind the second, the director's cut, but anyway, that's all I'll say about that. I would say like if you're a fan of the X-Men, you'll enjoy the movie. I think if you like the X-Men, and it's not just, oh, I enjoy X-Men movies. I think this is the first movie where you really kind of have to be an X-Men fan. But it's not without its issues. But I thought it was fun. A couple surprises in the movie too that actually had me go. But yeah, so that's it. An update on some of the other movies. It looks like Captain America's dropped a few more spots over the last 2 weekends, but it's taken in another almost $30 million. The Jungle Book dropped a few more spots as well, still in the top 10. That's looking to take about another $13 million since we last spoke. And Zootopia has finally left this last weekend, finally bumped out of the top 10. So that was, Zootopia came out in March, April, May, June. That's like, 2 full months in the top 10. I am not concerned because it's coming out on Blu-ray on Tuesday, and I cannot wait to get it. I'm going to do my glitter tiger dance when I get it. But it's become the second highest grossing original property. And according to Forbes, Zootopia is the second biggest original, and I'm stressing the word original here because somebody tried to fight me on this point, and I don't think they really understood what I was saying, but I also second-guessed myself the last time I said it. So I reread the article several times. It is the second biggest original movie ever released, only behind Avatar. It's Disney's 11th biggest movie at the global box office, and the 6th biggest non-sequel of all time. So not too shabby. And on top of that, its presence cannot be felt anywhere in the theme park. So I'm throwing some shade at you, Disney. And I really don't like Frozen, and it's like you can't not go into any theme park and have some Frozen in there. So I'd like to see that same care and attention given to Zootopia at your earliest convenience. Thank you very much. So that's that at the box office. We got Finding Dory coming out in just about a week and a half here, and then after that, I think it's a little clear in the Disney front until Pete's Dragon in August. But when we do our reviews, we'll kind of do some Universal reviews, and we'll do some classic Disney titles. And I was thinking about maybe doing a throwback to the Disney afternoon, and we could review some of that. I just got the Goof Troop Super Nintendo game, so maybe we'll do like something arts and crafts drink, but not craft, more like video games. I don't know. We'll get a new segment going. But I do have some fun, exciting movie news and rumors here. Apparently, so let's while we're in Marvel, let's stay in Marvel over here. Brie Larson, the star of the film Room, if you haven't seen it, it's a phenomenal movie, nominated for Best Picture, and I believe she won Best Actress this year for it. She's up for the role of Captain Marvel, and that is exciting. I would be totally on board with that. I would have also liked Emily Blunt, but this Brie Larson, she's on fire. But Variety's reporting that The Room stars in early talks to play Captain Marvel in the standalone project, and that story is going to follow Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, an Air Force pilot whose DNA is fused with that of an alien during an accident. The resulting alteration imbues her with the superpowers of strength, energy, and flight. No director is currently attached, but apparently they want to line up an actress pretty early to potentially introduce her in one of the upcoming films before her standalone film. Which, from the sound of it, her story could easily be worked into Infinity War. Because I'm just saying, if they're going to use, that's going to be all alien-based, and having the Air Force involved somehow, and they're like getting ready to start filming that, so it makes sense. It makes sense in there. And on the Captain Marvel note, we'll get back to her a little bit because I'm going to talk about the Civil War II comic that just came out this last week as well. Into the Star Wars realm, though, it seems that Rogue One has some massive reshoots that are about to happen. It looks like 6 weeks worth of reshoots will be happening. Originally, it was reported there was a test screening and the audience didn't care for it. But then it was said that there was no actual test screening for audiences. It was a test screening for executives at the studio. And the problem is the tone, apparently, is that it doesn't... This movie is going to go right up to the 10 minutes before Star Wars A New Hope starts. And apparently they want the tone to like kind of match up with that, and they want the tone more in line with The Force Awakens. So I honestly feel like this movie's maybe under more pressure than The Force Awakens was. I mean, The Force Awakens had a lot to live up to, but now this one kind of, I don't know. This whole thing is a little mind-boggling to me because from the get-go, the whole reason they hired people like Gareth Edwards or Phil Lord and Chris Miller, like it's all these very different type of people to give very different feels. So I understand that all of the episodes like the need to line up, but these spin-off Star Wars tales or a Star Wars film or whatever they're calling them, they should all, the whole selling point on these was that they were going to be unique in different tones. So Gareth Edwards from the get-go said that he styled this one after a war movie, and I was like, oh, that'll be really cool. And like this is the first movie without a Jedi in it, but I don't know. Apparently these are some pricey and extensive reshoots, and the goal of the reshoots is to lighten the mood and bring some levity into the story, restoring a sense of fun to the adventure. But I feel like everybody dies in the movie, so how fun? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want another Force Awakens. Like Episode 8 will be another Force Awakens. That's what I want from them. I don't want to just keep watching that same feeling repeatedly. Like even A New Hope is tonally different than Empire Strikes Back, which is tonally different from Return of the Jedi. But the reason why Empire Strikes Back is the strongest one is because it was darker. It took those risks, and I don't know. This isn't a good sign. It's just because of the financial situations that Disney right now with Shanghai and flops at the box office and stuff. Like, yes, The Force Awakens, they want another Force Awakens for monetary reasons to fill those gaps, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like when it's too many cooks in a kitchen, and I feel like it's not gonna bode well. But the apparently some of the studios said Gareth Edwards' first cut was a solid showing, but it didn't measure up the bar set in terms of the 4-quadrant appeal. Anything less than extraordinary won't do. Now, the danger word there is 4-quadrant appeal. Those movies, when forced, are not great. When done well, per se, like Steven Spielberg does it very well. He did it very well with things like Jurassic Park, where he was both mature, but at the same time had that sense of family, but it also had strong female characters, so it kind of hit every quadrant. But when Disney gets obsessive about it, that's when their movies start to unravel. So I'm scared. But the release date is still on target for the 16th, and now the newest rumor is saying that some of the goal in the reshoots too is to have Han Solo, the young Han Solo cameo in this movie, which makes no sense to me because the kid from Hail Caesar, Aldrin, my gosh, I'm forgetting his name right now, but he's playing like Han Solo in the same year that we meet Han Solo, because I thought this movie was going to be about Han Solo's like life leading up to A New Hope. So I don't know. I don't like that either. But anyway, on to a Disney movie, another classic movie here, Mary Poppins Returns. That is the official name of the new Mary Poppins movie, and we knew about a lot of this before, but apparently Disney is finally actually confirming stuff. So with an official release date, Mary Poppins Return is going to hit the cinemas Christmas Day 2018. I know this almost sounded really stupid, but I had to think about what year it was this year. Okay, so this Christmas we have a Star Wars movie. 2017. Do we have another Star Wars movie in 2017? I'm not sure. And if you listened real closely, you could hear my dog bark. He's upset with me. But regardless, Emily Blunt is going to be starring as Mary, and she will be joined by Hamilton and In the Heights creator Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's going to be playing a street lamplighter named Jack. And we do have a little bit of story details. It says the story is going to take place in Depression-era London and follows a now-grown Jane and Michael Banks, who, along with Michael's 3 children, are visited by an enigmatic Mary Poppins following a personal loss. I'm assuming a personal loss of the children, not Mary Poppins. Through her unique magical skills and with the aid of her friend Jack, she helps the family rediscover the joy and wonder missing in their lives. This plot actually sounds very similar to me. If anybody has ever knows, so Peter Pan, written by J.M. Barrie, the rights to that were, when he passed away, left to a hospital in England, a children's hospital, and those rights were going to lapse into the public domain. I want to say about 10 years ago now. So the hospital did like a contest to have some writers submit manuscripts and stuff to come up with an official sequel, and they did. It was called Peter Pan and Scarlet. I can't remember the author. I read the book though, and it's fantastic. And if you haven't read it, it sounds tonally similar to what they're going for here. So it's got that same Peter Pan vibe, but it also has a little bit of an undertone of that change, because it deals with the Darling children. But I'm gonna tell you right now, because it says it in the first chapter. One of them has passed away, because it's after, I believe that one took place after the First World War. Yeah, it must be. It must have been that, or the second. It's one of the two wars. But so it's got that like little moment of sadness, and it's actually got just this wonderful, wonderful quote in it about saying about how anyone can be a brave person, and you don't need money, you don't need things. And it was just it's a really easy, fun book to read, and I think it was the perfect sequel to that. And this is the only official in canon Peter Pan sequel. So check it out if you're a fan. As you can see, I am wearing my I'm So Fly Neverland, my new shirt, and I'll get to this shirt in a little bit too, and where you can get one. But that's as far as we've got for news and stories here. I know it seems scary, the Mary Poppins thing. I'm going to say this. I don't know why I feel this way, but I do feel like I'm more okay with Emily Blunt being Mary Poppins than I would have been if they had added, if Bert were a character here. Like, I'm glad that Bert's not in the story, and I really hope they both can cameo. So I really hope they film this fairly quickly and do whatever they can to get Mr. Van Dyke in there, along with Ms. Andrews. And I don't know, Rob Marshall's directing this, so it's kind of a hit or miss for me. Into the Woods was, and I liked the fourth Pirates movie. I know a lot of people didn't, but I felt like it was fit tonally with the first movie, and that's why I like it. And I don't like his other movies though, so I don't know where this is gonna go. But yeah, so that's gonna bring us out of the movies and into the comic books, and I've got some stuff to talk about. So I spoke in the last issue about this Captain America. Steve Rogers Captain America, because there's also a Sam Wilson Captain America, but Steve Rogers Captain America #1. And the big twist here, I said it in the last show, and it's been out for a while, Captain America is a Hydra agent at the end. What? So overall, I read this thing. It's not like the retelling of Steve's story. This picks up after. This is like, if you follow the Steve Rogers Captain America story, like he lost his powers for a while, and so he like aged, but then somehow they got him back. So this is like the beginning of that again. So this kind of sets up a little bit of backstory, because it deals with Steve's abusive father and the mother, and like a woman who steps in to help. And but overall, this sells on the hook at the end that Steve is a Hydra agent. So I don't have a fully formed opinion yet. I'm not going to say go out and get this yet. I need to read issue 2 first, and that's about to come out. So there's no real opinion to weigh in here. It felt a little fluffy, and to just kind of like, it was trying to get to that part, but we'll see. The first part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was fluffy, and then that was amazing when they had the Hydra twist. So on to the other thing, the Civil War. So this is my Civil War Free Comic Book Day, issue 0, and then this is Civil War, issue 1, which came out just last week, and I've read them both. You don't need to have read issue 0. However, what's great about it is it has scenes that aren't in this, but they kind of reference them, but they do it in a very creative way that I think is actually genius. I'm going to tell you right now, go out and get this. Okay, read this. This is since I've been starting Dispop and doing the comic book and reading them, other than the Power Ranger comic book I've been reading, and I haven't talked about it on the show, also has a spin-off called Power Rangers Pink, and it's about Kimberly after she's left, like where she left the show. It picks up that continuity after that. Phenomenal. But this is fantastic. And I honest to God, I hope I'm reading this, and all I can think is, man, if this is how they're going to do the Infinity War, this is great. Like, because Thanos is in this, and it's I don't know. I mean, I know it's about a divide, but there's a main character that dies, and maybe a second that's about to die. That's the hook at the end, but it's very well done. Now, I don't know anything about the Ultimates very much. I don't know too much about the Inhumans. And, as this is a big major event, they do make kind of references here or there. And there are going to be some stories from, there's a Spider-Man #1, like Civil War 2, The Amazing Spider-Man #1. And I think his first 4 issues are going to tie into this somehow. But you don't have to have read this. This is a 6-issue. I believe it's going to be 6 issues. Just an event series. So you can stick to this main one, or you can read those other stories that kind of branches out. So I think I'm going to get on board with the Spider-Man ones, just because I love Spider-Man and I really like the character in here. The Peter Parker one. But Miles Morales is in here too. What was I going to say? This is excellent, though. I thought the storytelling's great. The divide makes sense. It's a little heartbreaking, to be honest with you. I've got to go back and read the comic for Civil War, because I know the movie took a lot of liberties with it, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, this reminds me a lot of Minority Report, because the whole basis of it is they find an Inhuman who can predict the future. But so Iron Man's argument is, well, there's an event where there's this giant thing from another dimension that's there, and they stop it from destroying the Earth, and they're like, well, we did that because this Inhuman told us exactly where to be, when to be. And Tony's argument is like, well, then because the Inhumans saw the end of the world, and Tony says, well, then his future, then he sees a possible future. He doesn't see the future because they stopped it from happening. So that proves that he's not actually seeing the actual future. That's Tony's argument. And then Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, her argument is that, well, I mean, they need to use that power to do those events like that. And this is where it kind of falls back into that minority, is that Tony's saying, well, we put people away for stuff that they haven't even done yet. And I love Minority Report, so I am all on board with this, and I love that moral implication. And every character's getting a little moment to shine here, so I'm going to highly recommend this. I'm going to keep following this and keep going, but I definitely think you guys should get it. The first issue's really nice, too. They added this like kind of almost cardboardy back to it. That makes it a little extra. It's a little longer, and it's $5.99 versus like the $3.99 or $4.99 that Marvel Comics are. But I think this is totally worth it in the end, like, to get these. They have some fun alternate covers and stuff, but get on board. Go to a local shop. Just tell them you're interested in trying it out. I am a novice to comic books, so this is me just getting on board, and I'm super happy about this. So definitely check that out. And that is going to bring us to our little segment of the show here. And if you saw last week's episode or heard last week's episode, Oliver and I went to MegaCon, and I put together a little video, kind of an overview video, just describing like our weekend there and this stuff that was going on. And so why don't we check that out?
MegaCon.
Excuse me. MegaCon, the Southeast's premier comic book, anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture event. Hosted at the Orange County Convention Center, the event ran this year from Thursday, May 26th through May 29th and featured numerous activities and attractions for fans to participate in. Some of this year's attractions included celebrity photo ops and autograph sessions. You had the opportunity to meet legendary celebrity guests like William Shatner, Stan Lee, John Cusack, Adam West, Burt Ward, Kevin Smith, George Takei, Nichelle Nichols, Christopher Lloyd, and so many more. Whether you were interested in meeting celebrity guests or not, MegaCon had tons more activities to offer its attendees. The event featured over 1,000 unique vendors that made the MegaCon shopping experience incredibly unique. You could buy retro game consoles, t-shirts, corsets, prop replicas, steampunk paraphernalia, tails, swords, collectibles, and so much more, including pretty much any comic book you could dream of. Also, tattoos. That's right, there were plenty of places to get your very own permanent MegaCon souvenir. Another great section of the convention, and probably my favorite, was Artist Alley. Here you can meet the people who work in the front lines of the industry, from professionals to hobbyists. This was a great place to find unique and original art, and I actually left with quite a few prints and other items from over here. This is also somewhere that you don't have to be afraid to ask questions. You're surrounded by people doing and showing you what they love. These people want to talk to you about their work. We had the pleasure of speaking with some incredibly talented authors, illustrators, graphic artists, and so on. A lot of these people had their own original body of works that they were also trying to shine some light on. This already sounds like a lot to get lost in, but you should definitely remember to make time for the panels and Q&A sessions. Every day there are tons of offerings where industry pros will answer fan questions about their experiences and upcoming projects. You have the opportunity to be a part of some great things, like the Batman panel, where the original dynamic duo Adam West and Burt Ward, who attended MegaCon as part of their 50th anniversary farewell tour, took the stage to reminisce about their time working on the hit show.
Wait, 1 moment to lose. You love the tights, didn't you? The tights. You love the tights.
Yes. Well, I'm willing to donate those to anybody that wants to suffer.
You're still wearing them, Andrew?
Oh, I don't have them on. No.
It's disgusting. No, they did a wonderful job of casting because everyone wanted to do our show. And you can understand why. It gave them a chance to be kind of Shakespearean and chew the scenery and have fun and help us with our comedy and create the laughs. That's why we're here. To make you laugh.
Hypothetical for both of you. If you, Bert, were Batman and you, Adam, were Robin, how would that dynamic duo play out?
I would have asked for more money.
You never know who may pop into a panel as well. While attending Katie Cassidy's panel, John Barrowman snuck in and surprised her as guests were asking questions. It was a real treat to see the two of them together on stage and witness their friendship firsthand. Not something you probably would have seen if you'd skipped out on the panels.
What else the beginning of Lion King? No, seriously, who knows the beginning of the song? Someone's got a video of this. With that, ready? So, give it a 3, 2, 1. Yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's been interesting things. There's things that have happened, like in Kentucky, that can never leave Kentucky.
I have the most amazing photographs of John and I in bed. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? She's safe. She's safe. That was it. Never mind. I can't say it anymore. But it was awesome. Awesome. What was a back wearing? A back nap? See? Ready? Oh, my friend is tired. She's having a back nap. Anywhere you are, you can have a back nap. Because I can be signing and working, and Kate can go, I need a back nap. And I'm like, oh, don't worry about her. She just has a back nap.
Or on set, you know.
Yeah, in the middle of a scene. You will do this, Oliver Queen. Back nap.
You should start some back naps.
Yeah. We should do back naps. People can have back naps on us when we're walking around.
Yeah. Oh, it's like autograph.
Totally. Would you like that?
MegaCon is for everyone, and that, of course, includes kids. What I thought was a really thoughtful and I'm sure helpful addition to all their offerings out there was the Kids Zone and Family Lounge. This was a quiet room that allowed a moment away from the crowds where kids and parents could partake in some fun activities set up in the room, including arts and crafts and some really cool Lego playstations. There were also several very impressive Lego creations on display in here as well, not to be missed. If you're looking for that special someone to share your love of pop culture, have no fear, because MegaCon was host to sci-fi speed dating. After all, you never know who you could meet and then marry at MegaCon, because that's right, MegaCon was the host of its very first wedding.
Then, without further ado, let us commence the wedding.
The wedding was presided over by Cobra Commander, both wedding parties took the aisles, entering the ceremony in full costume, dancing their way down toward the bride and groom. The bride was walked down the aisle by none other than Eldon Henson, who you may know as Foggy Nelson from Daredevil, or Fulton Reed from the Mighty Ducks series.
This was definitely a big jump to do a wedding like this. You've always supported me through everything, whether it be my weird random hobby of the month to an actual career that I want to pursue that other people would not help out as much as you have and support and love me as much. We have a beautiful son together, and honestly, everything that we've been through, like, you were always there, and I will never forget anything you've done for me. You're absolutely perfect, and honestly, I could never, ever find someone like you ever again, because you're the one.
You are my best friend in the entire world. Every morning, I wake up and I get to stare at your face before I go to work. I get to kiss you every day when I come home. I get to play with our beautiful son every day. I've been dealt a lot of bad cards in my life. I've been in a lot of bad places. I've had to mulligan a bunch of hands, and a lot of people have given up on me. You never did. You never said no. And out of all of the crappy cards that I've gotten in my life, only one has ever gotten me through any hard times, and that'd be you, my Queen of Hearts.
By the power invested in me, by not only being the leader of Cobra, but also legally binding in Florida, I now pronounce you man and wife.
Now, I've saved the best for last because you can't talk about MegaCon without talking about the amazing costumes and insane amount of people wearing them. Whether it's cosplay, an original interpretation of your favorite character, or just a comfy Spider-Man onesie, I recommend getting into the spirit of things and dressing for the occasion. By the end of the first day, you'll be sad you didn't at least wear a fun t-shirt from your favorite fandom. Didn't bring one? Well, don't worry, because I'm sure you'll find something by the end of the weekend. And be sure to check out the costume contest too. You will not be disappointed. Honestly, I went all 4 days and I felt like I barely scratched the surface on what MegaCon Orlando had to offer. I mean, I didn't even talk about the after parties. Now, if you're sad you missed out on the event, have no fear. MegaCon is headed to Tampa in October from the 28th through the 30th. That gives you plenty of time to buy a ticket and get started on your costume. I hope to see you there. Okay, so as you can see in the video, there's a lot going on there. There's the autograph sessions with the celebrities. There's the artist alley. There's the costumes, the costume contest, the panels, the Q&As. There's the speed dating, that wedding. I didn't, like I said in the video, I didn't even talk about the after parties. There was also, and I'm a little bummed because, well, it's hard to cover everything, but there was also a what's called a Geek Fest film festival. So they had like excuse me, I'm gonna adjust myself here. well, just how I'm sitting. I wasn't being vulgar. Oh my god, so awkward. Anyway, they had the Geek Fest Film Festival, and this is where they were showing like short films and stuff like that. So for me, that would have been really cool to sit in there and check that out. I walked in at the weird time though, where they were like switching it over, so of course I did. But there were a lot of after parties too. Like this is a full-on event, so I'm gonna say if you're gonna go to this, you can be somebody who just goes for the one day and commits to it, but this seems like a whole thing. So on Thursday night, they had the MegaCon official cosplay karaoke kickoff party, and that was at Club 39 at the Rosen Plaza Hotel, which is right on I-Drive where the Orlando Convention Center is on International Drive. And that was like $10, 21 and over. And then they had Friday night, Nerd Noise Night, the official MegaCon after party. That was actually at the convention center in one of the ballrooms. They had the official MegaCon EDM party with DJ Ryu and DJ Korsk featuring Kradness. I don't know who any of those people are. I know Ryu is a Street Fighter character, but and they had some cosplayers in there. That was again at the Orange County Convention Center on Saturday night, and that was $10. That was all ages though, casual or cosplay. So imagine going to like this dance party and you're in a costume. I don't know. You just kind of see crazy stuff there, and it just, I don't know. Like next year, I mean, I know it's going to Tampa, but you know, and that's a bit like I'm just going to drive down. I'll probably just do like one day when I go for that. I say that now, but I also thought I was only going to go for like 2 or 3 days. This one, and I went to the whole thing, and I still feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff. I missed out on the Rocky Horror Picture Show thing they did. You know, I didn't do any after parties. The film festival I missed. I didn't do a lot of panels. It's a weekend. It is a lot of fun though. I'm definitely going to recommend costumes. But I'll talk a little bit about like specifically my favorite area. Like I said in the video was Artist Alley, and I left with a bunch of original prints. And one I really liked that I wanted to share with you guys here is, I still have it in the wrapper. This Back to the Future Marty on the hoverboard. This was done by an artist. No kidding. And he gave me this postcard too. That's the Rocketeer, and they're all these kind of like scraggly, cool figure. Like it's very unique, and this is going to be great in my Back to the Future area up here that you can't actually see, but it's right next to me over there. But it was done by an illustrator designer called Newligan, and you can check out his stuff on newligan.com. He has a really cool, it's like Han and Greedo, and they're sitting at the table, but it's 2 canvases and they're long and rectangular, 2 prints, and then but like they go right together, but one's like blue in the background, one's orange in the background. It's Han with like the pistol propped up, and you know, I'm sure it's called something like Who Shot First. I can't remember what it was actually called. Excuse me while I sip my delicious Ecto Cooler. Wonderful. But I really enjoyed that stuff. It was reasonably priced too. Like that Marty print was like $20. And it's on this really cool paper. You couldn't really tell, but it's textured paper too, so it gives it like that extra, I don't know, that extra oomph. And I love stuff like this. Like you can get a poster online, you can do all this stuff, but original artwork signed by the artist. This one's actually numbered too. It's 93 of 150, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's what I always leave with. It's all these prints, and maybe you'll do something with them, maybe you won't, but I feel good supporting like an artist that's right there, right in front of me, and you know, maybe they make it big, maybe they don't, whatever, but I feel like I contributed to it. I also really enjoyed these prints. Let's check out this cool Lost print I got. You can see in the top here it has the Egyptian writing, and then on the bottom it's got the 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, and then the artist John Lewis, he signed it there. That's the island. It's got a little plane up there crashing. And I am a huge Lost fan, so I loved. I don't know. I really liked it. I've wanted something Lost oriented because I have a little. They for the first season had released these like action figures, and I have a Jack one. And it looks just like him from the pilot with the suit where he's coming over the trash heap, and then I have like the set, which is the finale where they're looking down into the oh my gosh, what is it called? The hatch. and it lights up and everything. So I thought that would be cool in front of this, so I can make a little Lost display, stuff like that. I love that. And I also got this other one, which is Jurassic Park. This was for a friend's birthday, so don't tell them. But I also got this little cool, you can't see, he's in the bottom there, Rocketeer sticker I'm going to put on my laptop as well. But those are some of my my favorite prints that I got. I got more. I've got some that I could share. I got these really cool Parks and Recreation prints. Again, they're friend's birthday. Like, I don't know, this, for me, even if it's not for you, these make cool gifts. Like, get them, go to IKEA, get a frame, pop them in a frame. Like, I have a Breaking Bad one down in my kitchen down there that says, like, let's cook, and it's great. Oh, actually, that's the guy who I bought the Parks and Recreation ones from. I saw the poster, and so it turns out my friend got them from this artist, who I now have bought 2 of them for him and his wife, and so they'll be happy. I know, I'm a good friend. I'm a good friend. But the gentleman who did the Lost and the Jurassic Park prints is John Lewis, and he actually has his own original comic. So a lot of these places in Artist Alley, like I said in the video, they have their own original. The artists there are, sometimes they're just doing prints. They're like doing the X-Men. They're doing whoever, whatever characters, their own fun little graphic artist stuff. And then sometimes they actually have their own unique pieces of work. And I've got a couple of those to kind of share here that I spoke to that I thought we'd just give them an opportunity to talk about it. So the one who did the Lost and the Jurassic Park prints, that's John Lewis and J.E. Tobel, who have a Lord Rupert Evergreen presents A Recipe for Doom. So I've got a couple words for them, so let's go back to them and see what they have to say about their comics.
Hi, I'm John Lewis.
J.E. Tobel.
Part of Strudel Studios. We made this book called Lord Rupert Evergreen Presents A Recipe of Doom. It's the first issue of an ongoing series. Just debuted in May of this year.
I was going to say, a week or 2 ago, yeah.
Yeah, so anthology book about a talking skull and an apple, and they have little adventures within, and there's stories within the book that kind of expand that universe a little bit. And then we'll have a full-out graphic novel coming out 2017 about a book in here called Detail Nowhere. It's stupid.
Get stupid with us.
Is there a website people can go to?
JohnLewisDrawsThings.com.
JETobel.com.
And that's it.
I got their comic, as you talked about. They talked about it. It's cool. It's very Adult Swim. It reminds me of something I'd see on Adult Swim. The art in it is all very fun. It's very fun. It's very out there though. So, it's I don't know how to describe it. Like a certain type of person has to enjoy it, but it is humorous. Like I definitely enjoyed it. I haven't. My gosh, the week has been so full. I literally I stayed up super late just to read that X-Men comic book. The X-Men, excuse me, the Civil War comic book and the Captain America, and this one. So this one I only read a little bit of it, but I'm enjoying it so far. And it's one of those I don't want to rush through it just to rush through it to talk about it. I want to soak in the art, soak in the frame. Everybody reads comic books different, so it's all up to them. But you can check out some of their works on there. I recommend it. He participated in Art Drop Day actually 2 years ago. And for those of you who don't know, Art Drop Day it's this thing that's trying to catch on, and you use the hashtag. It's in the first day or 2 of September. You use the hashtag Art Drop Day. You make a piece of art. It can be anything. It can be jewelry, paintings, anything. I did canvases when I left them. I did 4 Ninja Turtle canvases. You leave you sign it, you say hashtag with this, or I'm at this, so they can learn about you or follow you, or you can find out on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Tumblr, wherever they are, if they got it and they posted it. And I got a couple of John Lewis's last time, and I really liked them. And so it's kind of funny that I walked up to the table and I was looking through his book, and I'm like, oh my god, I have some of your prints. Did you for free? So obviously I had to get the comic book, but the comic book's great too. Super, super nice guys. I'd say check out some of their prints. There was a really awesome, if you're a fan of The Office, I kind of almost regret not getting The Office, but there was an awesome Office Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban mashup, and if you know the show, you know that Michael served some time in Azkaban, Prison Mike, so there's a really funny one on there. I definitely recommend that. Another really nice guy I got to speak with is Aaron Hazuri, who created this comic book, The Strange Adventures of Toaster Guy. And here he is to talk about it with us.
Okay. Well, my name's Aaron Hazuri. The comic I do is called The Strange Adventures of Toaster Guy. And it's about a guy with a toaster for a head. And his superpower is that he can, like, reheat bagels and thaw frozen waffles. So he's not really good at anything. And his roommate, who's a ninja, says, hey, why don't you join me and we'll fight crime? Which they do to varying degrees of success. And right now it's a 4-issue series. They travel through time. There's some evil trees, giant robots. There's a dinosaur in there, Vikings. A little bit of everything for everyone. And it's like if you crossed a Disney afternoon cartoon with an Adult Swim cartoon. You'd get Toaster Guy.
Where can we find it?
Currently it's at a few local shops in the Jacksonville area, and it is available at toasterguy.com. Diamond has it for review for national distribution as of a week ago, so I'm waiting to hear back. So cross your fingers, hopefully you'll be able to get it everywhere.
So Aaron compared this to like a cross of a Disney afternoon, and I mean, visually speaking, it's that. I mean, it is that. It is definitely that. It's again, this reminds me of an Adult Swim version of the Disney afternoon cartoon, but it's fun, it's different, it's unique. I love it. I love people that do this stuff, though. So I'm enjoying this one a lot. You can check out his stuff. He mentioned it in the video. What I have one more, I believe. Oh yeah. Well, this one's something else. I mean, check it out. I'm just laying the land for MegaCon, like the cool things you can find, and it's like $3 or $4, and you make somebody's day. You get the autograph. It might become something. It might not become something, but it's original. It's an original piece. So I also got this graphic novel, which is a graphic novel called Bayou Bound. And it was sold to me on the basis that it was described as an homage to Buffy, and I am a huge Buffy fan. You can't see my Buffy section because it's above that V for Vendetta poster. But again, I read the first. I want to absorb it more, so I read what would be the equivalent of the first two or three chapters, like I'd say, because you can see it's pretty lengthy. It's well, you know what? Let me go to the creator, the author, Jeff Kaufman, who spoke to us about that in this studio and the slew of titles that they put out.
Big City Comic Studios puts out books for a lot of different companies, from Image to Xenoscope to Creature, and in September we start publishing our own. The last book that came out was my tribute to Buffy, which was Bayou Bound. It was about a 22-year-old kid who gets stuck in Wildwood, Louisiana, where now he's the deputy sheriff for all the weird supernatural stuff that happens there. Now, something kind of cool for those people. In September, our new books come out, and one of my favorites is Tesla and Hyde Scary Fails. It's basically the Pulp Fiction version of Once Upon a Time. The idea is Tesla and Hyde are actually hunting what I call them scary fails or the lies. It's kind of fun to be able to screw with people.
Do you have a website people can find you on?
Yeah, www.bigcitycomics.com.
Yeah, so I haven't had the chance to fully get into this, but I'm actually enjoying it. He described it, as he was describing it, I was kind of like, oh, I can see this being like a really, I don't want to say B movie, but that, those type of a movie, but like a good version of that movie. It reminds me a lot of Supernatural as well, which I'm a big fan of, and I like this ridiculous things. For those of you who may or may not know, I was a werewolf in a 48-hour film festival project I did once that I wrote and directed, and it went a little off the rails, but I was nominated for Best Physical Effect, and if you dig real hard, you can probably find that on YouTube. I'm not going to give you a link to it because I am embarrassed at my horrible acting in it, but it reminded me of this a little bit. I'm a little partial to werewolf stories, so there was a werewolf and ghosts and whatever, and it just seems a little ridiculous, but I'm actually really enjoying this one. This is a lot of fun, so you can check that out. And then I can't not talk about this one. Okay, so I have a friend, Travis Earls, and I only know him through a matter of going to, there's this mini Power Ranger convention here, and I'm a super nerd, and I go, and it's called Ranger Stop, and he does stuff, and he does this Ranger art, and it's so good, and I love it, and I got some, and then at the trivia I go to down here, they did a Power Rangers category one night for me, and I nailed it. And I actually dethroned, with the help of my friends, a team that had been winning for 26 weeks straight. But they called in Travis to be the other person, and Travis and I had to go head to head against each other, and I won for like a lightning question. And it was like the hair of my teeth. Like this guy went toe to toe with me. But he's got this really cool comic book that he just put out called Power, and it's not Power Rangers. It's called Power, but it is. He described it. Hold on, let me see. I wrote it down. It has like a Power Ranger Sentai horror action influence. Like if you were a child of, I'd say if you were born in the 80s or early 90s, like I mean even late 70s, like this is kind of like childhood stuff, you know. It's got that feel to it. I mean, I love it because it's that whole, like, humans, whenever somebody morphs, like, that's my thing. Like, I love that for some reason. And what's really cool is Travis did blank covers. And so you went up, you could buy the comic book. It was $7, okay? The comic book by itself without a drawing would have been like $4. He drew this for me. He said, I'll put anything you want on that cover, anything. It didn't have to be what was in the comic. It could be anything. He'll draw it if you buy the comic book for $7. And I was like, well, you should definitely do a character. So I told him my favorite character in the original series was Billy, and he did the blue knight in this thing. So he did like whoever Billy was in the comic book. And my God, it's amazing. It is like, it's super good. And I haven't finished it because I was reading it and I was enjoying it too much. So this one I was like, no, I'm taking my time. Like, I am gonna sit down, a quiet evening, and just enjoy this one. This is great. I actually hope to maybe have Travis on the show to maybe talk about his work and the process, since he is local. He's a super talented, super nice guy. You can check out his work on Facebook at Art of Travis Earls. I thought I had another thing. I think it's Art of Travis Earls on everything. Oh, on Instagram it's like art_of_Travis_Earls. Wait, is that true? That might be somebody else's. That's somebody else's. Just search for Art of Travis Earl, but you can check it out. I just think that's really cool. And there are some places that will do that for you. Original sketches. I mean, I took home this really ridiculous print. It was the brown corgi and the black corgi, and I have a brown and a black one. And they're like, one's Captain America, and they're like chewing, and the other one's got like a little wrench, and he's like, so it's like Captain America and Bucky, and it's super cute. And then there was another one, but they were two brown ones, so I couldn't take it, where it was Han and Chewie. And so I spoke to the guy, and I was like, oh, could you maybe, like, I love this print, but could you do it for me where Han Solo is the tricolor black corgi, and you can keep Chewie the color he is, but he needs like the white strip, because my dog Rocket, they both have the white strip down the center of their face. And yeah, so now I have these amazing like gifts, for myself, but yeah, so it's just cool. Like, talk to people there. People like to get their picture taken. You know, it's a fun experience. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of negativity. And that Batman, the original Batman panel with Adam West and Burt Ward, which I thought was going to be kind of, it was super good. Like, Adam West is really funny. And it was really cool to see the two of them together up there, you know, and say that. And then the Katie Cassidy panel I went to, because I'm a big Arrow fan, and John Barrowman snuck in, and I was just like, oh my God, seeing them together and the stories about on set, and just like the chemistry, I don't know, it just makes you appreciate it that much more, you know. So like, check out all that stuff. Now, before I stop talking about MegaCon, because I'm almost done, I do have one more story to tell. So the convention's great. There's so much to do. Like I said, you never really know who you're going to meet there too. So I had this kind of random run-in with one of the tables there, and I had the pleasure of meeting this super funny, super talented, this just like little guy whose name is Kai, and he's got a little bit of a sad story though. But he loves Power Rangers like me, so of course immediately I'm like, we're best friends in the world now. He is, well, you know what? I sat down with his mother for a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over to his mother, and let's learn a little bit about Kai.
So my name is Beth, and I'm the mother of Kai, which is the reason why we're talking. And he is a 5-year-old crazy kid that has an inoperable brain tumor. Kai has many doctors First of all, he has his traditional team of doctors that's in Washington, D.C., and we go up there every 3 months to run an MRI and to run the further tests that we do with him, like blood tests, and check and see how everything's going. Down here in Florida, he has holistic doctors. He has about 6 holistic doctors. We've been in the hyperbaric chamber. We've done 90 hyperbaric chamber dives. We're in there for about an hour and a half, and we'll start another regimen of that in about a month and a half. He's getting ready to start a laser therapy in a week and a half. We work with a chiropractor. He has a Chinese herbalist. He takes a cocktail, like milkshake cocktail in the morning that has all kinds of vitamins and minerals that keep his body running at the ultimate level, to be able to absorb the hyperbaric chamber and the oxygen and all these other treatments that we're doing for him. And it's been shrinking his tumors. It shrunk 2 millimeters in the past 6 months, which is amazing because it's inoperable and we can't use radiation. He has a love of Power Rangers, a love of superheroes. Now he has a love of the Karate Kid.
This was I'm a Karate Kid too. I'm supposed to fight and he won.
And he won. You were right. He just has a love of like things that seem fun. And he likes to perform and he wants to be an actor and he just loves life. And he's a little bit of an extrovert, so he loves performing for people and getting the attention. So we have a GoFundMe page, which is, www.gofundme.com/help Kai Live, and it's HELPKILIVE. And then he also has a Facebook page, which is, it's called Help Kai Live, so HELPKILIVE, and at the top it says Kai Lives. So with the money that we raise, it's going for Kai's treatment. It goes towards supporting him and supporting his continued healing.
So, so you heard the story. I thought, I don't normally do this, but if you have the power to do something to help people, I feel like you should do something to help people. It's just the right thing to do in the world. I mean, how do we make it a better place? We should always strive to make the world a better place than the one we came into. So I know at the Diz we do a lot for Give Kids the World, and they do amazing work for everyone. And everyone who listens has been so generous with that stuff because we've raised so much money for Give Kids the World. But this is just a little side thing, and it's a GoFundMe page. You can donate $1. And I'm not pushing for anybody to donate. I'm not whatever. I'm just saying this is the great thing about pages like GoFundMe. You have the chance to help people that really need help. Whereas you can also support artists and all that stuff, which is also wonderful. There's just so many wonderful things you can do, but the great thing is you can kind of donate in any increment. And $1, it's $1. $5 is $5, $10, you know what I mean? For me, it's just kind of all right, well, I'm not gonna eat out tonight, or maybe I just don't buy that one thing at the store, that I kind of want. Let me put it off for a second. And that little amount of money to us could be the world of difference to somebody else like this. And so I know it's hard times for everybody and it's very hard, but if you do have anything you want to help out or in any way that you can, even if it's not monetarily, you can check out his GoFundMe page. It's got some story on there, the links to some other videos that have been made, and go to gofundme.com/help Kai Live. No, it's Kai K-I, so it's HELPKILIVE. Tell a friend, share a link, whatever. I'm telling you this because I spent some time with this little guy, and he is, he's destined for greatness. This kid is charismatic. He has 2 lightsabers he brings around with him, and we had a little duel in the hallway. He won, obviously. He's very talented. His goal, he has said, is to be on a billboard, and he also wants to be in the new Power Ranger movie. So, obviously, we're destiny. So he's going to acting camp this summer, which I think is just perfect. And they're going to do Peter Pan, I believe, too. So we'll have to check in on him again later. But yeah, so that's why I brought it up. It's just, for me, I just feel like let's throw some hope back in the world for people. Help a stranger out. I saw this movie Pay It Forward when I was a kid, and I'm sure you all know it. Haley Joel Osment, and Oh my goodness. She was in As Good as It Gets and Mad About You and Twister and oh my gosh, how am I not remembering Helen Hunt. Oh, whew. I would have been so angry. Helen Hunt. And now that I've said that, I'm not 100% sure it is Helen Hunt in the movie. Anyway, this great movie, Pay It Forward. I have paid it forward one significant time in my life. It was a significant pay it forward. I don't want to talk about it too much right now, but there was somebody unfortunate in my town. Basically, their house burned down. Their dog died in the fire, and it was like weeks before Christmas. And so I had in my means as an 8th grader to help them with some stuff, and I did. And you know what? This family was just, they were the nicest family in the world, and what I did for them, like, it couldn't have been done for better people, and it's good. And I carry that around with me a lot, and I was very happy to help them. And they named so I gave him a dog. That's basically it. My dog had puppies, and I gave him a puppy. And my mom said, if you give him, this is the puppy we were going to save for you. This was going to be free. And I said, yeah, well, they lost theirs, unfortunately, and so they ended up like naming the dog Joy Clavin, which was, they didn't have to do that. I don't know. But that dog ended up living to be like 16 years old. I think it only recently, within the last year or two, passed away. And and that feeling, and it's not a selfish feeling too, but every time I saw these people, like I went to school with this girl, she was like a year or two younger than me. You could see it, like when you do something like that you think is just an innocent gesture, can just change somebody's life. So let's do that more often. Let's help the world be a better place. But that's my piece. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. I didn't want to talk about me in that either, but I'm amazing. No, I'm just kidding. So before I wrap up the show, I'm almost there, but I love to talk about people and how they bring their favorite fandoms, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, whatever, into their everyday life. And so you'll notice the shirt I've been wearing. It says, I'm so fly. Oh, I should zoom out. Hold on, I can do this. For those of you watching, it says, I'm so fly, I never land. And it's got the silhouette of Peter, Wendy, Mike. Oh, is everybody on there? Yeah, everybody's on there. And then on the back of my neck, it's actually got a little Tinkerbell back there, a little pixie. So this is a dark green. Okay, I love this. I love this shirt. And so I spoke earlier about like how I paint. Like my thing is that I see like cool. I love images of stuff, and so I like to like kind of bring that into, like, I paint. I'll make T-shirts every now and then. That's how I kind of channel my fandom. Jill, who you might remember from the Marvel arts and crafts thing, my Cupcake Wars friend, she likes to dress in like bounding. She bounds, in whatever her favorite fandom, and she's got quite the routine down now. And we'll go over what bounding is in the future. I just have to figure out how to put that segment together, but it's a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll have some challenges involved. But a listener, it turns out she's a listener of the show. I don't even know how this happened, if she had liked something on Instagram or I had liked something on Instagram, but somehow I saw it and I sent her a message, and I'm like, oh my God, this stuff's great. Do you mind if I feature it on the show? And she said, yeah. And then she sent me this package with this shirt, and then she sent me this shirt. Check this one out. This one's real funny. It's a silhouette of the castle, but with the crane poking out in the back of it. And if any of you know, Disney World has that crane has its own Facebook page now. That crane is like a permanent resident of Disney World. She sent me that. She made me this super awesome, like, whoops. Oh, it's in here. I took it out of the package. That's why. She sent me this Diz Pop sticker for my laptop. I haven't put it on there yet because I gotta clean it. But this one, and then a piece Mickey Dole Whip. Like, I think this one's super cute as well. That's so awesome. And it came in this nice like cardboard thing, and then the shirts are all nice and wrapped up, and they had little like directions about how to wash and care for it, and the presentation is wonderful. But so Megan, what she's done is take her favorite thing, which is Disney. Like, she loves Disney. She's very passionate, and she has turned it into a little Etsy shop, and it's great. I mean, And what appeals to me about it is some of it's like blatantly Disney. Like you can get a lot of really cool. She does, like I showed you, a lot of cool stickers. She's got some Haunted Mansion ones on there. But then there's a lot of tops like this. Like I love a shirt like this thing. Like I'm So Fly in Neverland. Like I think that's hilarious. Like I love that. She's got one I just saw. It's a yellow or like neon V-neck that says "Stand Out" with the lightning bolt, and I have to have it. Because as we all know, I'm very passionate about Powerline and a Goofy movie. And but I respect Megan so much for taking her fandom, and then not only does she like channel it into something, but now she shares it with other people. Yes, it costs money, but I think that's the definition of like happy work. Like, don't you want to do what you love? And she took things she loves, and now that's like a thing she can do. So she's got an Etsy shop. It's called Craftiest Place on Earth, and you have got to check it out. You can get t-shirts, tanks, decals. She's got really cool some wedding stuff on there. There's actually like a baseball tee on there too that says like the Dingle Hopper, and then there's some which I know our audience would love that say like you don't Disney like I Disney or something like that. Oh, she's got one with Mickey ears on it, and it says I'm a mouse. Duh. So I love that, you know, Mean Girls. The baseball tees are great because she's got this Rapunzel one, and it's got a 10 on the back, but in the 10, it's like the lights, the lanterns, stand out. Oh, and it says above the crowd on the bottom, and then it's got the symbol, the radioactive symbol. It's great. On Wednesdays we wear mouse ears, and it's on a pink T-shirt. It's so clever. She's got so much stuff. It's so good. She's got a really cool. Talk Disney to me. See, I love that. I love that kind of stuff. Like you know, things you like, the unofficial Disney merch. And the best part is it's a lot cheaper because like one of these shirts runs you like $16. You know, and she's super sweet. You ain't Disney like me. That's the one that I really enjoyed too. So be sure to check it out. The Dingle Hopper one says they're forking amazing. Okay. These are great, and it's super cute. You've got to check it out. Like I said, it's really cheap. It's really inexpensive. It's not cheap. My favorite Disney villain is my wife. So I'm looking at her Instagram, which is craftiest_place_on_earth. And then the Etsy shop is, hold on, I wrote it down here. So you can give them a follow. If you're not even going to buy anything, just give them a follow, comment, tag, you know, whatever. You never know what you're going to see. But Facebook, it's Craftiest Place on Earth. And that is the same as what the Etsy store is craftiestplace.etsy.com. So you know what? Go on there and check it out. Just shoot her a message. Say, hey, like I like your stuff. You know, it's really cute. Even if it's just a nice compliment. You don't have to buy anything. Sometimes people just like to hear like, hey, great job. I love Disney too. You love Disney? I love Disney. We're friends. You know, make some new friends in the world. But Megan, I love all this. She wrote me a super sweet note and everything, which I've covered up because I don't like to read sweet notes. No, but she's just so nice. And it was so nice of her to send me this stuff. And she wrote all the stuff on here that I could have. But you can use the hashtag Craftiest Place on Earth. I really respect it. It's a really well put together. She's super nice. She's super quick responding. She is a Disney fan, and I think that that's something to be said. If you can be a Disney fan and turn that into something that does well for you, but you spread joy for others. Like, I love this shirt. I'm so fly in Neverland. And Craig said he never wants to see me wear it, but I'm going to wear it all the time. And yeah, so that's that. Check that out. I think that's going to do it for us this week. And like I said earlier in the episode, I don't think there's going to be a Diz Pop episode for this Friday, the 10th, because I'm leaving for California Thursday, and I'll be there until Monday. And I don't know, though. Maybe I'll make something while I'm out there. Who knows? I'll try and keep you guys. Maybe I'll do some like vlogs and for like specifically for Diz Pop or something. I don't know, but I'm sorry. I'll do the best I can for you guys. Honestly, I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining or anything like that. It's just Diz Pop was kind of, you know, I took kind of an idea and I ran with it, and I'm trying to do it as much of it all by myself as I can so nobody has to worry about it, because as you can see at the Diz, we do a lot of stuff, and our coverage over this last 6 months has exploded. We are just giving you guys so much stuff, and but it takes a lot of time to do that stuff, especially doing a show like this that's very different. But it's very rewarding. When I give you guys an episode and you give me feedback, negative, positive, whatever, it still feels super rewarding to like have it out there in the world. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, listening, for everything you do. Feel free to follow us on the Twitter at DizPopShow on Twitter, and we just started an Instagram too, DizPopShow. Check that out. I've got a bunch of photos of those costumes from MegaCon. I'll try and update that a little bit more. I'll throw a photo of the shirt on there too, and yeah, you can shoot me an email at podcast@dizunplugged.com, and just make sure you say in the email somewhere it's going to DizPop. I mean, I'll still get all those emails, but it helps me separate them a little better. Let me know what you guys want to see. What do you want us to cover more of? I've gotten some great suggestions so far, and I'm really appreciate the feedback. Like I said, give us a thumbs up on the video on YouTube. Give us a nice review on iTunes. Constructive criticism, always welcome. And I guess that's going to be the end of my rant about criticism, about getting feedback. But thanks again, guys. Thank you, as always. And until next time, I have been and will always be Ryno Clavin. Bye, everybody.